I'm very happy about this play. That is why I'm very happy about this play. Why? Because of the first time, the performers, the artists, our wonderful artists, our own Malaysian artists that I'm very proud of, our talented artists, are going to use their discipline and talent to bring the story of a holy being to the audience. I find that very profound. But if you use your body and your discipline and your art and your costume and the lights and the stage and your talent to bring in a modern, fresh, new, artistic way the story of a holy being, do you know what happens? You are blessing everybody in the audience every time you have a show. Yes, you. Do you think you cannot bless people just because you're bald and lay and ordinary? Well, I'm bald and ordinary too. And people think I can bless people. Well, you can bless people too. We just need something to bless people with. So when you get on the stage, you should think, on this production, my good friends, you should fold your hands. If you're Buddhist, you think about Buddha. If you're Christian, you think about Jesus. If you're Muslim, you think about God. If you don't believe in a religion, you think about the audience. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a Buddhist. You should think, I will do this play to talk about a holy saint and the difficulties he went through and how much he changed the face of the planet through his meditation, dedication, hard work, learning, and teaching. And I will express his life to bless other people's lives. And then you go and do your show. The show will be different. When you finish your show, you might have tears. Do you know why you have tears? Because you taught someone Dharma. Because you brought something beautiful to someone's life. After the show is done, you might have unstoppable tears and great happiness and peace. Do you know why? Because you blessed the whole audience. And you did something so beautiful. And you did something wonderful with your talent. And you're going to feel inspired. You're going to inspire yourself. Do you know why you're going to inspire yourself? Because everybody who does something for others feels good. So therefore, all of you are not high lamas. All of you are not monks or learned people, or you haven't studied Buddhism much. But it doesn't mean you can't bless other people and bring meaning to their lives.
海龙王献给佛陀珍贵的深海法螺，小男孩则捧着一串水晶念珠供养给佛陀。佛陀当下收集他为雪域之乡的佛教救世主，并将法螺转送给他。佛陀吩咐神族木建连，先把法螺藏在雪国葛巴山一带。将来童子的转世长大以后，弘扬佛法建寺，自可开山取得。佛陀释迦牟尼创立了佛教，后来传到西藏的因缘，由这里开始。 一位婴孩诞生了。这婴孩将在未来主持如来正法。他正是创立西藏格鲁派黄教的一代宗师宗喀巴大师。大师于1357年10月25日诞生于青海省西宁附近的宗喀。藏人为表尊崇，都称他为宗喀巴。大师3岁就生出离心，开始请求出家。他不曾破戒或有过举止上的不适，更不像一般的孩子。他举止如菩萨般在实践身、口、意。虽然他非常聪明，但是他仍然诚恳地学习任何东西。只要观察着他的上师在朗读，既懂得如何朗读，完全不需指导。他可以记得所有的法器和长经文。大师四处参学，无论医书或佛门经论，他都能够很快地精通其中奥妙，圆满善巧。同时，他辩才了得，或智慧圆明的美誉。大师7岁出家为僧，法号贤惠。16岁离开家乡之后，至此便不再回乡了。 辩经是藏传佛教僧人攻读显宗经典的重要方法之一，主要是按照逻辑学体系的逻辑推理方式来辩论佛教教义的学习方法。地自是文殊菩萨心咒的一个音，可以开启智慧。高扬右手，说明文殊智慧就在身后。二手相击，象征世间一切稍纵即逝，同时可以激醒心中的慈悲与智慧。右手向下拉回，是希望透过自己的善念和智慧，使众生脱离苦难。
如果食物是快乐的泉源，那拥有越多的食物就越快乐，对吗？
对呀，食物的酸甜苦辣，透过食蕾的辨认，可以引发我们快乐的种子。
如果食物是快乐的泉源，那吃的越多，我们就越快乐，对吗？
对极了，吃的越多，当然就越快乐。
当我们吃饱后，就不会感到饥饿，对吗？
对呀，吃饱后心情特别愉快，饥饿的感觉不会再有。
因为饥荒，我们得不到充裕的食物，所以我们不快乐，对吗？
对呀，美味的食物是快乐的泉源。
如果食物是快乐的泉源，那不爱吃的人就注定不开心，对吗？
对呀，他们不会太快乐。
世界上有很多人都三餐不饱，那他们也都不快乐，对吗？如果食物是快乐的泉源，为什么伤心的人吃饱后还快乐不起来？所以，食物不是快乐的泉源。当我们吃得过饱，就会开始产生厌恶的感觉。再提起食物，我们就想呕吐。所以，食物只能够克制饥饿，不是快乐的泉源。食物只能够引发我们对美食的欲望和贪念。真正的快乐是不会产生欲望和贪念的。一旦升起了这两个念头，我们就得不到真正的快乐。所以，食物只能够填饱我们的肚子，不是快乐的泉源。
食物不是快乐的泉源，食物不是快乐的泉源，食物不是快乐的泉源。宗喀巴大师与仁达瓦师徒情深。宗喀巴大师要离开老师，师徒离别之前，互相赞颂。仁达瓦是宗喀巴大师一生中最重要的老师，他曾为仁达瓦做了一首诗，并在多个场合朗诵。不过，仁达瓦却认为这首诗更适合宗喀巴，于是回赠给他。
悲报掌观世音，无垢智慧，智王妙吉祥。雪灵圣贤定言人道啊，喧怒落罪，诸虔诚其心。 前生气息。
宗喀巴29岁时，正受具足大成，身心顿时充满甘露，入正僧教，位越人天。而魔君则大为恐慌。
修行人应该遵循戒律，才可以断除不明。你今后教化众生，要以戒律为重。唯有僧团清净，才可以让人对正法增长信心。你要好好地弘扬佛法，利益众生。 情况虽然如此，但如果众生不亲近正法，那根本不能脱离苦海，永远活在苦难之中。你一定要主持圣教，弘扬佛法，一定要遵循戒律才行。你要以戒为师呀，提倡清净的比丘戒。你还要完成菩提道次第广论，这里面概括了显密的全部教义。你还要完成菩提道次第广论，这里面概括了显密的全部教义。道体圆满是无上的妙法，道体圆满是无上的妙法，道体圆满是无上的妙法。
当时许多寺院僧人腐化堕落，不守戒律。僧人的戒律象征包括：不准干涉世俗事务，严禁娶妻生子，不能从事生产劳动，不许追逐权势利禄。文殊菩萨显现赐教说道，教化众生以戒律为重，并指示宗喀巴大师去完成菩提道次第广论，以利益广大众生。宗喀巴以前人的论著为基础，浓缩一切佛法的精华，提炼出一条指引众生从凡入圣、最终成佛的道路。如今，这部佛典成了藏传格鲁派的圣经。 习气，会淹蔽清净心，让功德难以升起。修行人若无广大的福德资粮，任他如何勤修智慧，也证不了清净佛位。因此，修行的基础应该是治业障、积集福德。我们应该对过去所造下的业障发怒忏悔，不该犯造。Nama Guru Be. Nama Budaya. Nama Damaya. Nama Sangkaya. Ba so wa te mi me. Missima， 松卡巴大师赞：念这咒语可以获得慈悲、智慧及能量。因为这是观音、文殊菩萨及金刚手的良好品质。为了日后广大的利益众生，文殊菩萨指示大师需进行曼陀罗和大礼拜闭关。大师精进地做了35万次的大礼拜，
是350万次的大礼拜，
是350万次的大礼拜。
是350万次的大礼拜啊！没想到石板上竟然留下大师的手脚膜拜凹痕和额头印纹。 1409年，宗喀巴大师戴上黄色帽子，黄色代表增进与广传，帽子两边则代表慈悲与智慧，袈裟代表戒律。宗喀巴大师创立了现今藏传佛教中最大教派格鲁派。这教派中僧人严守戒律，头戴黄帽，因此格鲁派也被称为黄教。大师树立严守戒律的榜样，让大众对佛法升起了信心，追随者日益增多。在信徒的支持下，大师建立了第一所的道场，弘扬佛法，这就是甘丹寺。就在建寺的地点，挖掘出当年佛陀吩咐神足木建连埋藏在那儿的深海法螺。
明思维的浅浅日子，只没肯被王婆长培养，感情可被足见宗喀巴罗藏抓被沙布罗苏瓦的。
1409年，宗喀巴大师建甘丹寺。1年后，甘丹寺建成，大师当时54岁。1419年10月25日清晨，宗喀巴大师涅槃，享年63岁。宗喀巴大师一生利益众生的成就，堪与佛祖释迦牟尼佛相媲美，因此后人尊称他为第二佛，智慧文殊菩萨的示现化身。今天，在中国北京雍和宫博物馆，我们可以看到由中国古代皇帝所制造的一个巨大宗喀巴大师佛像及其他有关的传承本尊。这些遗迹都可追溯到明朝的永乐皇帝时期。以此看来，宗喀巴大师所倡导的藏传格鲁派，在当时就已具有巨大的影响力。将世间变为火把，让火的慧光永不受阻，使肉眼变得明亮，明辨善恶之法，消除凡夫的愚昧和无明，获得心灵的智慧，照亮人间的迷茫和黑暗，帮助死去的人获得良好的转生。藏历10月25日是宗喀巴大师的纪念日。这一天，在藏传佛教格鲁派习俗中，是比过年还要隆重的日子。所有大小寺庙及教徒家中都点上千盏酥油灯，昼夜不息。在马来西亚，我们在尊贵的上师詹杜固仁波切的领导及教导下，传承这珍贵的教义。
Where there is no Dharma, let there be the Dharma. Where there's a misunderstanding of Dharma, let it become clear. Where there is Dharma, let it become much stronger. May I take on the burdens and unhappiness and sufferings of others happily. May I absorb their problems happily. May their negative karmas come to me in the form of sickness. May their obstacles come to me in the form of sickness. May their difficulties come to me in the form of sickness, and I happily accept so that they can realize the Dharma. May I be happy to give over my virtues and merits, and time and energy and love and wisdom, and accept their ignorance, hatred, anger, and their negative karma. May I be able to accept that. In this life and all future lives, may I never be separated from the King of Dharma, Lama Tsongkhapa, and his holy doctrine, and the great masters who follow it and elucidate it correctly. May I become a lineage holder myself by practice, contemplation, meditation. And may I be able to spread the Dharma through my body, speech, and mind, especially by my action. May the crops be good, harvest be excellent, the government be strong, and leaders have right clarity and operate clearly. We pray for them. May the ones we love, we reward them with our efforts and love, and we reward them with good action. And whether they're watching us or not, we behave well to reward the people we really love. Otherwise, it's not love. May we be able to suffer difficulties for others happily.
你
I had no involvement in this play. I have not seen some of the dancers and the talented people, and I had no idea what they're going to do. So tonight was a complete surprise for me. When I had the great honor to step down into Malaysia, the great honor and privilege to step down in Malaysia the first time in 1992, I looked around me at a very successful, wealthy, advanced, and very beautiful, clean country. And I looked at so many people, I met so many people, thousands in fact, and met many people, talked, dispensed advice, etc., what I'm supposed to be doing. Then I returned back to my monastery, which was built by Lama Tsongkhapa in South India, originally built by Lama Tsongkhapa. Externally, materialistically, Malaysia is doing very well. Malaysians are doing very well. Externally, materialistically. But once we reach a materialistic level or a certain height or a materialistic goal has been achieved, many of us sit back and think, what else is there in life? Is there more in life? Is there something else I can do? Is this all? We usually think like that. Hence, when we further our material success, and then we examine ourselves, how many more trips can I go on? How many more cars can I buy? How much more clothes can I have? How much food can I eat? We ask ourselves more and more and more, and there's a little nagging question behind us in our minds. Is this all? That's when most of us start to look for more answers. Look for something higher, look for something more. And that's where religion can play a very instrumental role in completing our life's journey. That not only do we have good clothes and good food, also inside we have a purpose. We have a reason to be here. We have a reason to live. We have a reason to exist. So that's when we start to examine into religion. What religion? What type of religion? How do I practice religion? I am a Buddhist monk. But I am not here to tell you that Buddhism is the best or the only religion or is the correct religion. What I'm here to tell you as a Buddhist monk is any religion is very good. Any religion that suits us, that we have affinity towards, that helps us to become a better person, that helps us to think deeper, to help us to engage in social action, to be a benefit to others. Whatever religion it takes for us to achieve that purpose in life is the right religion for us. We are very fortunate to live in such a wonderful country, and I am very honored to live in a country that has so much peace and abundance and freedom. For me, religious freedom is the most important, and I enjoy that as a guest of this great country. If we are to look at the differences, the superficial differences in the various great religions of the world, then we will create more wars, anger, disparity, sadness, and misunderstanding. But if we choose to look at the similarities between the different religions and how each of us can learn a religion, practice the religion, and become different, and become a productive, beneficial citizen of this country, of this world. That is the purpose of religion. It is my job as a Buddhist monk to teach Buddhism. But I have a higher job as a Buddhist monk to encourage all religious people to understand other religions, to encourage all people to find their religion and to remain in their religion and to develop and evolve in their individual religions. My job is not to convert the world, convert you, or make you feel your religion or another religion is wrong or incorrect or doesn't lead you to, inverted commas, heaven. That is not my job. My job is to create harmony, understanding, interreligious communication, interreligious respect. So, if I know your religion better, if you know my religion better, we all can live in this world happily and more beautiful. Respect for each other's religion arises from understanding. So hence, today's play, although short but accurate, gives you a little bit of understanding into Tibetan Buddhism and how Lama Tsongkhapa's tradition started. This play is not designed to make you go and pray and become a Tibetan Buddhist, but it is to share something of this great religion with the wonderful people of Malaysia so that you can go home today saying, I understood something, I learned something, I have experienced another culture, I have experienced another religion. It adds and enhances to my life. It adds and enhances to my thinking and my view. What a beautiful evening. What a beautiful play. Let me stress one more time before I finish my little speech. All religion is correct. All religion is beneficial. All religion has a right to exist peacefully together. And in our country of Malaysia, we're able to do that and show that example to the world. Our government in our country is Islamic, but they are real followers of Islam, if I may dare comment on that very deep doctrine. They allow us to be who we are in this country. And to me, I think that's wonderful. And the second thing is, no religion is superior to another religion. No religious practitioner or no religious teacher can tell you, if you don't practice, you will go to a bad place. Because if they tell me that, I just go home. I don't believe in things like that. I believe that we should have the freedom to practice as we like. And having said that, practice what we like and what suits us. At the same time, respect other religious traditions. Respect other religious cultures. Respect other religious teachers. If we don't follow, we can show respect. Because all religions serve one purpose: to make us better human beings, better citizens, and better daughters, better sons, better parents, better people. That is the purpose of religion. So if we use that and twist that around to manipulate or scare people, then I don't think God or Buddha or Tsongkhapa would be very happy. So therefore, all religion is very excellent. And this has been my message for the last 20 years that I've been traveling and speaking with very diverse people. And I would like to thank, there's so many people to thank, I'm not going to name every person, but all of you who have worked so hard and contributed to all of this, I thank from my heart, sincerely. I'm not saying this because I'm on stage and I have to look good. If you know me, I don't try to look good. But I will tell you the truth. From my heart, I thank everyone, and I thank all of you, and I thank everybody in the behind scenes, and I thank the person who owns this theater who let us use it to send a message to the world, although we may be small, but our message is real, that we can share cultures. And I'd like to thank Kichara House, the center that I have the honor to be the spiritual advisor to, and the committee, starting from our president, Datin Ng, who could not be here. She's with her family in Australia, but she's here with us in spirit, and the STAR committee and the working committee, and of course my extremely hardworking 22 liaisons, and all the volunteers, and all the students, and all the friends of Kichara House. I just wanted to tell all of you, look what we can do. Look what we can do if we put our mind and our energy and we put our focus together and we believe and trust in ourselves. Look what we can do. So I would like to thank the Chara House and all its members from my heart. I wish all of you long life, happiness, prosperity, growth, and spiritual enlightenment.